If you wanted to pinpoint a single moment when the world woke up to the power of the drum hook, you'd have to consider one legendary performance. Featuring an iconic drum kit that now forms part of a private collection in the Midwest of America.
Prior to the Ed Sullivan Show, everyone rushed into the living room to watch the show, and I hid underneath the table with my cousin, and I was just captivated. And then when I started locking in on the television, I laser locked on Ringo. So in 2013, I was called in and had the honor of organizing all of Ringo's Beatle-era drum kits. And behind me is Ringo's first Ludwig drum kit.
I'm mad about the boy.
For us in the States, you know, when the Beatles appeared on Ed Sullivan, they were basically fully formed. A fully formed, perfect rock and roll band.
I'm so ashamed of it, but must admit the sleepless nights I've had about the boy.
Ringo. Well, as you can see here by my leg,
On the silver screen.
covered in Sgt. Pepper and Yellow Submarine tattoos, the Beatles were, are, and always will be my favorite band of all time. And with that comes Ringo.
Quite aware that
In the early days of rock and roll, Richard Starkey, aka Ringo Starr, was something completely new as a character and as a musician.
Up until the Beatles, drummers never had a personality. They were never in the spotlight. They were always in the background. Ringo was the first time where the drummer was like a real personality in the band. So for starters, he was the first time that a drummer was ever like noticed and interviewed.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Well, then I'll turn you around this way then, all
Which
right?
way?
This way.
way?
No, this
Hello?
way. You're looking very smart anyway.
Yes, well, I had a bath.
But beyond that, his drum parts were really always so perfect, so tasty, so spot on.
None of his beats are extremely technical. Then you start like listening to what he did under all that. It's perfect.
Ringo Starr, who came up with fantastic parts. Tomorrow Never Knows. Beautiful. Ticket to Ride, and I could go on and on.
Come Together is like a symphony on the drums. So you have the dun dun chicka da dun do do bum bum chicka da dun, right? But then the verse beat is I would never in my wildest dreams think of playing that beat on that song, but it's instinctive, it's lyrical, it's perfect.
His drumming was a huge part of that band, and he played hooks.
He had all those lyrical fills.
You listen to the drum fills in A Day in the Life. They're amazing. The drum groove and Ticket to Ride, all those little nuances were so unique and original. And as the Beatles were breaking all this ground, Ringo was breaking it with them.
They were hooks. That's what you try to achieve. You try, if you can get lucky if you can come up with something good. But he did it kind of over and over and over. I mean, there's a lot of songs where he's, you know, playing a more traditional beat and twist and shout or whatever. But as the band progressed and later they got more creative in the studio, that's when I saw him really come up with drum hooks, as important, I think, as the melodic hooks. Something the listener can grab onto and something that's an integral part of the song. It does something to the song, it elevates it, it's dynamic, and it's memorable. His drumming was a huge part of that band, and he played what was right for the song. He wasn't flashy. He did one drum solo.
Ringo was the first time where the drummer was like a real personality in the band.
I was very interested in just his whole personality on stage. The way he was really a rock and roll star and not just the drummer in the back.
That's it. On like 10 years of music, he did like one solo. But Ringo came up with the coolest parts.
Just amazing riffs, amazing fills.
Ringo is my hero. He'll always be my hero.
I've always fancied having a ladies' hairdresser salon, you know, a string of them, in fact, and trot round in my stripes and my tails, you know. Like a cup of tea, madam?